Hey everybody, Christian from Treasure Town here, and today we're going to be talking about the king of $1 bills. So they're pretty often traded around in change. We still use them relatively frequently, but today we're going to be talking about the ones that are literally worth tens of thousands of dollars. Now, most of these are going to be really challenging to identify and come across. That's why they're rare. That's why collectors are paying so much for them. But I'm going to be going to a PowerPoint presentation. It's like 4 or 5 of them, but I'll be going with some in-depth explanations. It'll be a pretty quick video compared to some of the other stuff I do, but really what to be searching for on these $1 bills that made these people significantly wealthier, whether they withdrew it from an ATM, got it back in change, or got a stack of fresh, crisp ones from the bank and found this inside. You never know how all of these actually made their way out, but I want to show you and tell you about these that are worth literally 5 figures, tens of thousands of dollars. So here's the first error we're going to be discussing, and it's the California blackout note. Really, it's just a test note, or there was like ink testing where they want to make sure that the ink will sufficiently print the rest of the notes and make sure the front plate is properly has enough, and it certainly does. As you can see, it's just way over inked essentially. The interesting thing is you might be wondering why there are these 4 sort of splotches where there's no ink, and that's because there's not going to be any ink when they're actually printing in terms of the intaglio. So it's sort of doesn't make sense why you would need ink there, and that is exactly why there's not any. This sold for $10,060. It apparently is from the same printing press that gave us the Del Monte $20 bill that sold for recently $396,000, but a super interesting error and just sneaks in the 10,000 range. This one is probably going to be the most expensive note we discuss here, and it is a mismatched suffix, but the really special thing about it, so often you'll see mismatched serial numbers, or maybe it's different letters, like one starts with an F, the other starts with a G. The big thing about this one is that it's a star and an L, so that's pretty insane. Normally you're looking at either a star note, so a replacement note, or just a regular one where it will be a letter, but to have one as a star and one not as a star is extremely rare. And in this case, somebody ended up paying $29,900 for it, and it was pretty circulated, so it definitely spent some time in circulation. Was a really nice find for somebody who essentially was handed a free, I don't know what car, and that would be a pretty decent looking car, nice car for 30 grand. Similarly, this one circulated a little bit more. I think it's less attractive because it has that sort of ink that is certainly not from the mint, but if we look at the serial numbers, it's about like, well, let me see if I can do the quick math, 359 off, and still has the star and the L. This one sold for $16,215, but I can see the appeal in owning something like this. If there's a crisp one out there, which there very well may be, that would be extremely rare and probably might double the more expensive one. This one, there's no explanation as to how it could have happened, or at least there's a bunch of different error experts were interviewed and they all had different explanations, but it is 2 attached notes. They're missing the third printing. One of them, and the third printing has the serial numbers, the Fed and Treasury seal, and one of them has it on the reverse, the other does not. So it's just crazy, doesn't make any sense, but somehow it escaped the mint or the Bureau of Engraving and Printing and got out of their hands and into the auction block where somebody paid $18,400 for it. So for something as inexplicable as this, I sort of get it. Just one of those upper tier currency errors. And then our last one is going to be the complete multiple impression or fourth printing of the back or the reverse on the face or the front, and it's been normally printed but then somehow goes back in for a fourth printing, just like to, as though it was blank, create a new note, and has the full overprinting, really crisp note. The impressions come off pretty clean, and it's a $21,600 find. So after that, We then go to the 1917 inverted overprint. This was the only other major $1 error that I could find. Not going to be one you can find in pocket change. This is even larger than the normal size, but I always try to sort of broaden people's collecting perspective, or to show them something a little bit different, because you can really, there's a ton of currency that I focus less on that is extremely collectible, much different design, even though Washington is still on it. You got the reg seal, it's a legal tender note, but we have an inverted overprint, which might be a few $100 on a normal $1 bill, or sometimes a little more than that. But you have the overprint. They were still printing the treasury seal separately, the serial numbers, and this one comes out for $11,500. Extremely good condition, was caught right away, but doesn't get destroyed. Somebody saved it, held onto it, and was able to come out with 6 figures. So those are the 6 notes we've got today. Exhausted all the ones that I could find. Really, really interesting results, and hope that you can take the, I think this is the one to take away, to look for, because the other stuff is pretty noticeable, but you never know. I mean, this conceivably could be in a bank strap of new notes. I think it would be pulled out quick, or something like this can escape people's eyes and make their way into circulation. Thanks for watching the video. I'd encourage you to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel to stay updated. I've also got Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, so you can follow me there. TreasureTownYT.com is the main channel website. Definitely give that a visit. I've got a lot of information about me up there and the channel. CoinGrabBag.com as well currently redirects there, but it's some good opportunities for very fair grab bags, both made by me and other sellers. A lot of different options, so that's a good way to support. There's also TreasureTownCoins.com. In the future, my coin dealing operation will be done out of that website. CoinMeltPrice.com for updates on the melt prices of your coins, both US and world. A lot of resources in that website. And then CoinsMetalsCards.com, being developed right now as a marketplace and news source for coins, metals, cards, and collectibles in general. So I'll see you on my future videos. Looking forward to seeing you there, and hope you have a good day.